Hi everybody, Ryan Gable, StartingPoint Realty here in Roscoe Village in Chicago, Illinois. And today what we want to do is show you how a home inspection works. We're going to give you a sample home inspection. And with me today is Jeff from Inspectrum. And Jeff, what is the purpose of a home inspection?
The general purpose of a home inspection is for the inspector to provide detailed information to the potential buyer about the condition of their property so that they can make a better informed decision about what they want to do, whether they want to move forward with the purchase or not.
Okay, now we're in a new construction condo here in Roscoe Village. Do you still recommend a home inspection for buyers of new construction?
Absolutely, it's a great question for the fact that we always recommend an inspection for a new construction or a resale. So despite whatever the property is, but it's even more important so for the first-time home buyer. The developer may have given them a year guarantee to resolve any issues. If the buyer is not trained or is knowledgeable of the building systems and components, that one-year guarantee, something may not be installed properly. If there is an issue and they get ready to sell their place down the line 2, 3, 4, 5 years, that year has gone, has expired. Sure. And so the resolve is going to be on their dime, because you know that the new buyer is going to have it home inspected. Here's your one opportunity as a new home buyer to make sure that that cost of anything that isn't installed in a proper manner is on the builder.
Excellent. So that leads me to my next question. How much is a home inspection?
Inspections can range depending upon the size of the property. Let's start with condos first. Condos usually will start somewhere around $300 and will top out somewhere close to the $400, $450 level. That's all dependent upon the size of the condo, bedrooms, mechanical systems, and things that need to be inspected. Single-family homes, there's more systems, more components, usually larger square footage, bedrooms, bathrooms. Those usually start somewhere around the $400 level and will usually cap out or max out somewhere around the $600 to $650 level. All, regardless whether it's a condo or a single-family home, all money well worth spent.
Okay, great. What we're going to do right now is take a look at a few of the major items, the HVAC system, the electrical system. Again, these home inspections can go in between 2 and 4 hours. Right now we're just looking at a few items to keep this video as short as possible. So let's get started.
We're going to take a look at the electrical panel. It's one of the critical portions of an inspection. So this is where the electrical panel is located. One of the things that we will take a look at is we want to make sure that it is labeled properly. And as we can see, this one has been labeled nicely. It's legible. One of the keys that we want to make sure that is in place when we're doing an inspection. We also want to make sure that they're proper size breakers and that they're the appropriate size breakers that are for specific locations as well as for specific items within the property. GFCI outlets or breakers for a jacuzzi or a water feature, arc fault breakers for bedrooms. So we're going to take the panel off, take a look at the wiring inside to make sure that it's actually wired in a proper manner. Now that we've safely removed the panel, what we are looking for here is to make sure that the proper size wires are at the proper size breakers. They will have different ratings for them, and we wouldn't want too small of a wire powering the whole house. Otherwise the wire would fail before the breaker would trip. And we're also looking to make sure that each of the wires is nice and tight up against the breakers connection. There are no loose wires. We're also looking to make sure that the box is absolutely grounded and in good shape here. So this panel has been done in a professional manner. It's nicely wired, nice and neat. Doesn't look like a bird's nest, and everything seems to be appropriately installed. So we're in good shape here, and that's what we're looking for as part of an inspection for your condo or for your single-family home. We're now in the kitchen, where there are many different types of systems and components that are taking place all in one area. Some of those include electrical, some of those include water. We're going to focus on electrical right now. In the city of Chicago, a GFCI outlet is required on every countertop. A good quality home inspection will have every outlet tested using an outlet tester to make sure that they actually pop and that they are placed in the right locations. lights indicate that it's wired properly. And testing the button, it trips. You're in good shape. We'll now turn our attention towards the water features, in particular the sink. There'll be a couple of items that we'll be testing for to make sure that you have proper water flow, there's no leaking, and that the plumbing below the sink here is actually plumbed in a proper manner. We'll be turning on the sink, testing that the sprayer feature, the stream feature, and that the sprayer hose is not bind or leak. We're in good shape here. We're going to continue to let the water run so that we can stress the pipes in the vents. So as part of the inspection, we want to make sure that there are no leaking pipes and that the plumbing below the sink has been plumbed in a proper manner. And we can see that there's the appropriate P-traps located right here, as well as for the disposal. We also want to make sure that the dishwasher drain line is placed in a proper manner as well, and that's what this line is here. It has the high loop. The high loop prevents the water from backflowing into the dishwasher and causing the dishwasher to become stinky, a technical term. We also want to make sure that the electrical system, which provides power to all the systems of the disposal as well as the dishwasher, has a cutoff switch, the appropriate cutoff switch, and we can see it's located right here. We also want to make sure that there's the proper shutoff valves for the water features. Those are in good shape, and everything is looking good and satisfactory in this situation.
As a first-time home buyer, when we take potential first-time home buyers out looking at houses, a lot of these folks have never seen what is in this room right here. Furnace, water heater, air compressor that's outside. These are very expensive items. They need to be maintained. So as a part of your home inspection, this is one of the more vital areas. Jeff, what is it exactly that we're looking at here? Can you tell us about each one?
Absolutely. What we're looking at here is the heartbeat of the home, where the water comes in, your water heater so that you can have hot water, as well as your HVAC system that's going to heat and cool your unit. So we're going to take a look at each of these separately.
Now, this particular unit has a furnace right here, water heater, that looks to be a humidifier. Some condos, are they heated by a different system?
There are many different types of systems in order to heat a unit or a living space. And a good quality home inspection will have the inspector know about how each is supposed to be installed and the workings of them. They should also test each of the items to make sure that they're in good working order.
Excellent. Cool. Let's get started.
Let's start with the water heater. In general, water heaters will last between 12 and 15 years if maintained properly and on an annual basis. Your water heater is located right here. A good quality home inspection will be able to provide you with the condition of the water heater in place. And one of those things, many of the things that we're going to be looking at is the size, to see whether or not there's a large enough tank to appropriately heat the water needs of the space. We want to make sure that the unit is not leaking. We also want to make sure that the flue pipe is properly pitched so that the flue gases do flow out. We want to make sure that the safety valves, or the TPRV valve, which is the temper pressure relief valve, is in place and where it's supposed to be, and that it's not impeded from operating should it need to trip. We also want to make sure that the temperature setting down low here can actually adjust, and that the unit does fire up. And lastly, we want to make sure that the water main, and identify where the water main is, and point that out to the potential home buyer so that they know where all these things are when they are living in the home. So if there's a need to shut the water off to the unit, that they are familiar with all these items within this closet. Now let's turn to the HVAC system. A lot of people get confused about that term, and they think that this box right here is just a furnace. Well, it's much more than that. It's heating, ventilation, air conditioning system. And how the system basically works is that in the bottom box, there's a fan or a blower. In this section here is the hot part, or the heating portion. This section here is the AC portion, and then the air is distributed throughout the ductworks and then provided to the individual rooms. We're going to take the cover off and take a look at the mechanics within inside the furnace portion. Now, dependent upon the season, a good quality home inspection will be able to test, usually at a minimum, one of the items, meaning either the heating or the air conditioning system. When the temperature is below 60 degrees, the air conditioning system cannot be tested for reasons that you do not want to damage the air compressor outside. So if a home inspector does not provide, and the temperature is below 60 degrees for 3 straight days, if the AC is not tested, do not worry, that's a normal part of the home inspection. As I mentioned before, we have a blower here. This is the heating element. What the inspector is going to be making sure is in place is that the flue pipes are tight, that there's no leaking. He wants to also take a look at the flames, the heating portion, to make sure that they're of the right color and that it does fire up. So after the inspector has taken a look at the HVAC system to make sure that it's installed properly, that the proper flues are installed properly, and that it is operational by testing it with the thermostat, there are some things that the home buyer with a good quality home inspection should learn from the home inspector, and maintenance items that need to take place while they're living here. Some of those things are filters. Filters are located within most HVAC systems. This is a very simple pleated filter right there. The inspector will check to make sure that it is not dirty and give advice as to the size as well as the condition of that filter as well.
Okay, so what we just went over in this video is maybe 5% of what the home inspection actually entails. We just wanted to give you a rough shot of how this actually works, so maybe you're a little bit more comfortable with an actual home inspection when you're ready to go through it. Now, we just did a lot of the inside components. The outside component is just as important, if not more important, especially when you're buying into a condominium building. Jeff, what are the major exterior points that a home buyer should be looking for in a home inspection?
Well, one of the key critical elements of any structure, whether it's a single-family home or a condo unit, multi-living unit, is the roof. The roof is, designed to do one thing and one thing only: is shed water from the structure. Water is a very destructive force. So we want to make sure that that's in good shape. Now, with a condo unit, there's typically an additional fee for the roof, but it is minimal, anywhere between typically $30 to $50. 90% of the roof are inspected, are usually walked, because in a condo unit much like this, the roof can be accessed, and a good inspector will be able to take a look at the roof there and tell you of any potential issues.
Now, will a home inspector actually go on the roof of a condominium building or a single-family home?
It depends on each condo unit and access. Usually size and scope of the association will vary, but more times than not, there is opportunity to get onto the roof to take a look at it.
Great, thank you. Now, remember, this is a 6-unit building, condominium building, and home buyers buying a condo always have to remember that you're buying a portion of the building, so you are buying part of the roof, part of the exterior, so it's a very important part of the inspection. Now, a home inspection is meant for you to understand, that you know what it is that you're buying, making sure all the systems are in good repair, and if they're not, take your home inspection report and your photos and try to negotiate these issues with the seller, and don't let anybody tell you that you can't get anything from a bank. You still try to negotiate those issues if you're buying a foreclosed property. For any more information, you could either go to StartingPointRealty.com or Inspectrum.com, and thank you very much.